First one of these in a while. Let's take a look. We got Gxxkc's Blood Death Knight. Pretty geared. 221, I believe. Yeah, how about that? It's pretty geared for his all. And he's Venthyr Volpira Death Knight, unfortunately. Blood DK. Well, playing interesting build, Tombstone and Fall Bulwark. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that these go well together. I don't know if it's going to come into play, but this is a 16 16 halls. So let's take a look. Might as well get right to it. In terms of he's using Theodor, the Mad Duke or whatever, and trinkets. He's got scale and the same trinkets I have on, actually, which is kind of funny. So the one from whatever that boss is, the boss that I always say the wrong name: Hungering Destroyer, Devourer, Hungering Eater. Let's say that. But no, anyway, so we got a couple guys in the guild too: Hammer and Fistagon, and Gxxkc here on his DK. So let's take a look. This pack is always a little difficult. It is fortified, so yeah, the current week that I am recording this. This is a great pack to open with Rune Tap, simply because you get so much value from, while you're gathering them, not taking damage. Also try to get a couple Bone Shield stacks here. Let's see, are we trying to get a feel for the UI here? That 5 is how many Bone Shield stacks you have currently? Okay, so probably don't want to have 0 for most of this pack. You see the little Bone Shield icon. It's completely empty. Yeah, that's the one thing I do like about my setup. The icon, it's like very different when it's empty, so it's obvious. But I guess it doesn't really matter when you have so many CDs up, you don't even notice it. But yeah, definitely a good tip there, I think, for anybody. Not just, anybody playing Blood DK. If you're gonna do a pack like this, definitely get a Rune Tap in. Like I do this for Sanguine Depths. I do this for this pull in Halls. I do this for the other side as well. It's very easy. You just, what I do is Rune Tap and Merrowend and, First Global, whatever, and then run all together. By the time they're all together, the CDs will be over. Like that's all you need, really. You don't want to waste anything more on that, but it's a really good global to have there. So, yeah, he's got Red Thirst and everything like that. No Lichborn used there. A lot of CDs. I mean, that's the big thing you're going to notice with Blood DK is a lot of CDs. So if we're going to be looking at any Blood DK footage, it's all about potentially using the CDs well, or at least making some valid use out of them every time. And especially with Crimson Rune, it's going to be a lot about Rune Weapon. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, really, especially in Halls, I feel like you can pretty much get Rune Weapon every single pack, which is really nice. Sometimes you might want to sit on it. I don't necessarily feel like I do sit on it too much, but and same thing with Vamp Blood. Like now, these 2 CDs are up pretty much every pack, so I guess not a terrible idea to sit on Vamp Blood longer if you don't feel like you need it. But I always just use it because the more uptime you have on it, the bigger your blood shield is and all that, right? So not necessarily needed. Well, maybe now I'd definitely be using it. It's a long time to be going without Vamp Blood. Jeez, yeah. I would say the same thing with Vamp Blood, and actually Rune Weapon is already back up, so that's pretty interesting. That's Tombstone, I imagine, there in a nutshell. I'm very interested in Tombstone, and the more I think about it, the more I want to give it some more tries, I think, because, my God, he could have used Rune Weapon twice in that pack, and that was not a very long pack, so we'll see what happens with overall use case. Maybe we'll see that at the end, but past that, I don't think there's much going on, like character-wise. Character's very geared for 16, so I'd hope to see it go very smoothly. But of course, yeah, an alt, so you never know. Yeah, Swarming Mist too. I'd be interested in seeing how that's used. This is actually like the first time I've ever really looked at somebody using Swarming Mist like intently. Does look like probably one of those cases where you just want to use it on CD. Perhaps maybe if you have it up, like maybe for the next pack, it's only a 1-minute CD, so maybe use it on at the end of a pack, or save it if it's going to be for a big pack on the pull. Seems like probably what we're going to see here. But yeah, Rune Weapon. It's going to be up again here. It's pretty nuts, Tombstone, I'll tell you what. But I just don't know. I'd be interested in hearing anybody, especially but Gxxkc's thoughts on how Tombstone and Fall Bulwark have been working together. See, I guess the thing, I think we had this talk, him and I, and now I'm remembering it. He didn't feel like the other talent, the middle talent, I don't actually remember the name of that talent. The middle talent, he didn't feel like that was doing anything for him. and he didn't want to have another keybind for Red Thirst, so I could see that. Or of course, Rune Tap. Sorry, he didn't want to have a Blood Tap. I don't know. You know what I mean. He didn't want to have another keybind, so I guess that's fair. So I probably would say that Fallborg and Tombstone going together it's like a hard sell in my book, but it depends on how often you're having like a surplus. Like I don't know if there is a surplus. Like I don't know how often I feel like this would happen. It's hard to see, in real time, but if you were to analyze like the actual numerical elements of it, it's probably something that's more you're able to elucidate it more, I think. I wouldn't say that they're not incompatible, of course. It's not like one completely irrelevant the other, but okay, so that's interesting. Did we pull that on purpose? I normally would pull that anyway, so I assume it was just forgotten or something, and then Hammer actually runs over and grabs it. I thought that was him, so no problems so far, but yeah, just overall maybe a lack of let's take one quick look at something. Feel like okay, we did use some AMS. Did we use AMZ here? I feel like some of the auxiliary CDs aren't. I haven't seen them too much. Take a look at the Pride here. That's the nice thing of, oh yeah, it's already on CD from something. I wonder why. Use it for that. Okay. Curious. Yeah, I mean, it's probably another one of the CDs that you want to just try to use as much as you can. That's probably the one thing I do the worst, though, is with AMZ. Like, if it's not Pride, I almost never use it. I use it on like 2 or 3 packs throughout the dungeon, so it definitely sits probably like 50%. Like, it's like it could be used like 50% more. But yeah, this week it's actually quite funny because the Spitefuls will stop you from mounting, so kind of a pain. But if you get out of combat quick enough, you can do it. There you go. That mob does that for everybody. It's not just me. For some reason, this obliterator like just kind of starts jumping. I don't really fully understand why, but I suppose the trinket not being used as much might also be uh like a luxury because you don't really need it. I see. I always use the trinket as like a bit of snap threat. It's a nice little pad. I feel like never. It's rare that I use it. Like it's rare that I would sit on it this long, even on 2 mobs. But perhaps, the next pack coming out. The thing about Tombstone, though, is like you've basically been given another big absorb. So that was almost one of the reasons why I stopped using Tombstone was because it kind of felt like Tombstone plus the trinket. I mean, they're almost the same use case, right? But one is just completely like, on its own, and the other one has like synergy with the class stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I would feel like it would be hard for me to get used to using both of them well. So I'd have to just end up using both of them on cooldown. But yeah, as we see, yeah, a lot of runic power here. I think that's the problem with Swarming Mist, and I don't think I can get used to using it. Honestly, like I don't know if I could because I don't necessarily maximize my runic power well at times. So it just feels like I would constantly use it and then just be capped sitting there with nothing going on with it. But yeah, I mean, really, there's. Now I wouldn't say I've seen anything that I would even comment on right now. Maybe besides that first pack where you didn't use Vamp Blood and Bone Shield a bit, but in general, it's all about just kind of pacing, having one thing up for, every difficult time. If you feel like those exist on a certain pack, maybe you save 1 or 2 things instead of just one. But realistically, now with Red Thirst and Crimson Rune, especially with Tombstone, Blood DK is going to have a lot of CDs available. So I think that's partially why Blood DK is so powerful right now, frankly, is because, or at least I perceive them to be so powerful. Like, I wouldn't have said this about Blood DK and BFA. Like, they have power in BFA, but it was marginalized by the other tanks, obviously. But right now, I've really yet to see anything that makes me think Blood DK isn't very strong right now. Like defensively, they have a lot of capability. So I think their utility kit is spectacular as well right now. And I mean, I'm sure you're going to see it in this video as well. There's not really, nothing crazy going on in the 16, but between Gore Fiends, Death Grip, AMZ, AMS2 at times could be really counted as utility. But it's pretty powerful. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of Tombstone though. Not exactly sure what we'd be saving it on. That's the thing though. I will definitely say that if you're taking Tombstone, you better make sure you're using it on CD, right? Unless I'm, missing something. But it just seems like it's way too like it's only a minute CD or whatever, so it's actually hard to use. That's why I feel like it might be hard to use with Fallborg because there's going to be times where you're just going to snap off all your bone shield stacks if you're using that and Dancing Rune Weapon well. And that's partially why I stopped using it as well, because it felt like it was very hard to maximize. Like, it felt like I had to really pay attention to it. And I didn't. We actually looked at it on stream today. I didn't even realize this was a feature, but you can go into details and look at runic power generation, and you could see how much runic power Heartbreaker generates, which is pretty interesting. It was like a couple thousand. And so we just did like quick math. It was like it was like, say, like 30 to 40 extra death strikes. And I was doing about like 250 death strikes per run. So it wasn't anything super crazy, but it was certainly a lot. Yeah. So I think if you're going to take Tombstone, it has to outweigh that, or at least compete with that. And it could outweigh it without actually doing it. You know what I mean? So actually right there, I think we did the case I was just describing. Yeah. You see, so we have 20 seconds on Rune Weapon, 19, 13, 12. So yeah, we just wasted a ton of the value there. So we also probably just capped on runic power. I assume you used the yeah, so we're gonna go we're super capped on runic power, aren't we? Yeah, and then here's another use. Boom. Yeah, so you basically just wasted a ton of runic power and a ton of value of the talent. It's not easy to use. It's legitimately a difficult talent to use. You almost have to make like a little kind of a checklist for how to use it well, because if you just use it purely on CD, it's not going to be, it's going to be a lot of wasted healing, and you're probably going to waste a lot of runic power as well. And if you don't use it on CD, then Heartbreaker's just going to just going to dominate, right? Just going to completely dominate. So the question is it worth getting a lot of extra rune weapon from it? Like, because obviously it's, the main craziness about the talent is that it makes rune weapon up even more, like probably 15-20% more often than it would without. Where are we going here? Isn't this mob up here? Yeah, this shard of healthiest is not here, right? I don't know where we're running to. But anyway, I would say that it's a hard talent to use, and it's not for the faint of heart. I would say personally, even with my maybe slightly above average experience on Blood DK, I don't think I got used to using it well at all. It took me a while. So again, what would we AMS early? I'm trying to figure out where we're using these AMSs or AMZs. Yeah, a little early for that one. That's interesting. Of course, the thing about AMZ or the thing about Pride is, the longer it's up, the more damage it's going to do. So I struggle with this all the time as well. AMZ, I never really feel like there's a good moment for it. A lot of the times I'll kind of wait to see if the healer's falling behind or if somebody makes a mistake. But I'm also starting to get in this mindset where I feel like you want to AMS every Pride regardless. I have actually seen this happen. I'm not 100% sure how or why, but I have seen nobody get that whatever that thing is, boasting prideful boast or whatever. I have seen nobody get that for a while, and I'm 90% sure it's because I AMS. So I definitely think we want to AMS every Pride, regardless, because it's obviously going to reduce some damage, going to give you some runic power, but it also might potentially remove one of the things of it. Now, of course, it's not really that dangerous, but oh my god, group's getting slaughtered. Wow. That's a surprising amount of damage taken there on a 16. But yeah, I would say that that's a good habit to get into. It's again really short CD anyway, so a lot of times you don't even have magic damage taken on some packs. And usually you know exactly where you need it. Again, probably another one of those things where I just sit on it for the whole dungeon half the time, and could be using it for very minor benefits, but I would think that is probably one of the places to gain. I mean, if everybody's going crazy for runic power, that's definitely the best place to use a CD like that, right? And there's the spot, the shade keeping you in combat there. What a pain. Dwarf Shadows looks interesting though. I definitely would have liked it more if it was at one point it was, actually I don't know if that's still in the game. At one point it was usable while moving, like that was like overpowered. But then it was like had 2 charges or something like that. I can't remember what the stipulation was. It was some kind of stipulation. I don't know. I've never been Venthyr on any character. I still don't have a Venthyr character, so I think I only did a little bit on the beta, but that was a long time ago. So we have a lot of count here. Yeah, I guess this is like the route. A lot of people are trying to get like a 99%. Yeah, there you go. You didn't have a, or you trading it to him, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people are trying to get like a billion count down here and then go upstairs. It's an interesting idea. Actually, it's similar. Don't know where we're gonna end up here. But yeah, so we'll have looks like all CDs will be back up for boss. We got Pride still. It's hard to tell. Pride 7%. Don't think so. Don't think we'll have Pride here. Of course, we'll have it for the second boss instead. And yeah, again in general, just sitting on Tombstone. So that's a great. I mean, what else? Why would you not use it there? Let's take one more look at this pack. One of the more dangerous packs in the dungeon, obviously. Anytime you see all these dogs, it's always dangerous. But I mean, we got 8 runic. We got I guess we have a lot of runic power right now, but we have 8 bone shields. Tombstone just sitting there screaming, and also Vamp Blood. So you get Vamp Blood, Tombstone. You have a massive absorb. These bleed stacks, you won't even notice them for a while. Also got a lot of Lichborn, I suppose, not being used very well. But yeah, kind of just maybe like some timid use of CDs. I feel like a little, I don't know, maybe too many CDs is hard. It's hard to get them all used. Like we have Lichborn, which you have a conduit for, which I don't see using very often. Icebound, and of course, you know, there's a conduit for that, but you're not taking it currently. And Tombstone. So 3 different major CDs up, and instead we're just running. So yeah, that's fine, obviously. I mean, to be fair, those mobs are a pain in the ass, so I'd probably be running 2 over just defensive CDs, but actually, yes, I think we just went, did we just go the whole, let's take a look at this. Yeah, so we just went the entire, the entire duration of Rune Weapon without using Tombstone. So I don't know how I feel about the talent if that's going to happen. Honestly, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even take the talent. If that's ever happening, you know, if like you're feeling you're having that trouble, that much trouble, for whatever reason, it's just hard to use. You're finding it difficult getting value out of it. I don't know. If that's the case, it's just not worth it, right? If you ever feel yourself missing whole uses of it, and that was part of the reason why I stopped using it too, because I did find like that happening, where I'd just be like, I don't really need it now. I have too much runic power. I have too few bone shield. It's like, okay, but the reason you're taking it is to get dancing rune weapon, which is not, you know, this is also an offensive thing, right? Like it's not just purely defense. So that's kind of the problem. You got almost all these defensive CDs. Do you need all of these things? Do you need them? I don't know. Depends on the key. But Rune Weapon is not just defense, right? So it's not like Vamp Blood. You're just getting Vamp Blood up over and over again, not doing anything if you're not taking any damage. This is different. This is a big deal. Having Rune Weapon up as often as you could potentially have it up. Super big deal. So yeah, 79.85 count. That's very interesting. So we're going to be a little over count here. Little, probably didn't need those. One of the packs, I'm not sure which. It's interesting. What differs so heavily here? We got both of them. Okay. Can we get? Oh yeah, you can, I guess the other. Did somebody else take one? I still don't know how that works. Again, I've never been a vent there, but 2 dudes here, probably not a bad idea. I probably would have grabbed one for the pack though. That pack was pretty difficult, quite long as well, it seems. So might have been a decent idea there. Swarming Mist, kind of just sitting on that as well. Yeah, I gotta take one more look at this with the Lichborn because I feel like I've not seen that used a single time. It's a weird CD to use, and I think even veteran players might be confused by it at times. Like the leech is nominally valuable. It's good, of course. Ooh, careful there. That hunter getting smacked, and I would say a little bit of erratic movement maybe was the reason for it. I think he's not in the best position, but you kind of move right back into him. A little awkward there. It doesn't matter. Doesn't end up mattering. Maybe on Tyrannical it does, but yeah. So I would say even veteran players probably have trouble getting used to this CD. For me, I don't know. I grew up playing tanks when it was like you had all like 10 CDs and you just rotated through them all. So I'm a little bit more used to it, but it is difficult to get great value out of the actual leech part. It's basically I feel like if I'm ever low at all and I'm taking any amount of damage, then we'll take the 9 or so % damage reduction and we'll take the leech. And that's a very good CD overall. Relatively long CD, but I would never save it. It's not like Icebound where I'm like, okay, I'm saving Icebound for this pack. I'm saving Vamp Blood, Rune Weapon, AMZ, anything like that. I'm saving. No. Lichborn, if I'm ever in any danger, just use it because it's kind of just a free CD. So yeah, we're gonna get up here with. Wait, what happened here? Why does it say prideful in? Oh yeah, that's right. It's the same as it was before. So we're going to get up here with 0.15% needed, and this mob is going to give way more than that. So probably using the same round on Demon Hunter. It's not like you're doing something different on Blood DK. Maybe there was some errors there. I think the big difference is those two mobs coming out of the beginning right side area. I would not pull those. But then I think you probably need more than just one mob here. I don't mind pulling the two. I don't feel like it's particularly dangerous. Obviously, you could easily sidestep the damage, but I'd love to see. Yeah. So wait, again, did we just do another? Okay, there we go. We use it there. So let's see that. Let's see that in action because I always love seeing that big tombstone snap off that big rune weapon there. Let's watch this happen. It's quite cathartic. I feel like very satisfied when I see it. So watch this. 159 and 132. It's just so awesome, man. I will tell you what, that is friggin' awesome looking. I love the way that looks. As you see, mostly overhealing there. You know what I mean? That's the problem with the talent. It's quite great until it's not, and then it's just there to get rune weapon up. So that's the problem with not using it on CD. Like, it's almost like you have to find its intrinsic value of rune weapon reduction to be greater than the sum of its parts or so. Like, do I care about its healing? No, I'm only using it to get more resources effectively. And is the healing a benefit on top of that? Yes, then it's a great talent. That would probably be my thought process, but it's going to depend a lot, of course, on the whole fall bulwark situation. I really don't know. That's something I don't think I would ever use together. But yeah, definitely could have used. Yeah, no, of course, good way to save rune weapon there, because then Tombstone's gonna be right back. Look at that. Let's see this. Another 30 seconds. Thanks for stopping by, Dancing Rune Weapon. Come on, man. How cool is that? It's just so freaking cool. I don't even care how. It's just so cool. But let's see. So we got a lot of great utility here. Oh, we just have a Frosty K. Delete these mobs. See you later. See you later. That guy is gonna go in there with a bop. Look at the bop. Oh, he's gonna hit the. Who's that? Oh, okay, he gets out. That was a hammer. It looks like he was about to get hit. Actually, Fistagon did get hit. Yeah, dangerous stuff there. Oh my god, that guy's almost dying. Paladin's working really hard to keep him alive, but he manages to do it. All the while, haven't used the trinket. When did that come back? I was like, well, that's a long time to go without the trinket. Oh my god. Wow, that's a long. When was the last time you used a trinket? Okay, use it on the first boss. So 2 bosses, 1 trinket. That's interesting. Yeah, see, for me, like the trinket is such a big part of threat establishment. I find it very difficult to not just use that thing on CD. Oftentimes, I use it too on CD. Great gore fiends there. That's exactly what I'd recommend too. Number 2 is always more dangerous. All CDs are up at the first one, so people are gonna just delete that. Not even a reason to gore fiends there. Just kind of a waste of it. But especially swarming mist too, you probably do some good damage on that. Yeah, went the whole boss without using trinket. Great boss for the trinket, first of all, because of course you can hit the ads. Second of all, it's a lot of damage taken, perhaps a big shield going up right before you get one of the mechanics or something else in general. But yeah, just I think I feel like we've done this before. I feel like we've been down this road before. CD usage is paramount, right? I'm actually thinking about doing a video. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What was that now? Hold on a second. We don't have the damage type weak horse. It's going to be difficult to tell. Did you just walk into like multiple volcanoes there? Hold on. Looks like he's in volcanoes. He has Death's Advance up. See, smart eyes a little bit. I knew exactly what's going to happen because I do this all the time and people probably don't realize. I have Death's Advance up and I get hit by volcanoes and it doesn't look like I did. But yo, my God, you're on fire, dude. It's Mount Vesuvius up here. Okay. That was unfortunate, really. I don't think that's it's always a weird fix, right? Because every once in a while it's just devastating. So very low health. I assume the blue bar portion of the weak ore is just the difference, or is that some kind of absorb? Hold on, let's take a look here. That's probably AMS's value, so it's not. It's like, wait, is it? No, you don't have AMS up. Why is there such a giant absorb? Let's watch this again, because now I've been distracted by the tombstone situation, or by the volcanic situation. So we just have a really big absorb coming out of nowhere. Trying to figure out what's happened. Frozen. Watch it again. Here we go. This time it will not be frozen. But yeah, so I don't. Oh, it must be the trinket. I guess you finally used it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yep. Yep. Use it. Pretty good use case. There we go. Okay. See, very big absorb would have been great. Multiple times before. And there comes the rune weapon, and here comes the tombstone. So yeah, probably pretty comfortable at this point. This is probably like one of the only packs in the game where I would definitely. I always expect to do some kiting, just because. Usually because nobody ever actually interrupts the casts. So if both of them try to go off at once, I can't get them. Happens every once in a while, but those bleed stacks are just devastating. But that's the power of DK right there. You don't even need to. Literally so many different CDs. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's actually quite different than BFA. Like that was the difference in BFA. Rune Weapon was like really honestly quite bad. Eternal Rune Weapon was pretty cool, but yeah, really not very good at all. And Vamp Blood and Red Thirst, that's all you had. That's what I was so excited about. And what was the name of it? I can't remember the thing where we got more CDs. Like that's why I liked it so much because it's like I liked having a lot of CD usage. What are we? What's going on? I don't know. Waiting for something, perhaps. But anyway, yeah, pulling these back. Something I've always done too. I still don't. This fire stuff on the ground. Oh God, it's a lot of stuff. Okay, AMS might. I don't know how much you might have actually taken damage from there. Let's see. A lot of red on the ground, regardless. AMS, a volcano, walking through all that. It looks like probably got hit by one of those fire things. I don't actually know how much damage those do. I think somebody said they'll like one shot of DPS, but curious. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know when the last time I've seen Lichborn used. We're gonna take a look at it at the end of the video because I legitimately don't know if you've used it. I think perhaps the answer is 0 times. It's a very good, powerful spell, but I know it's a little hard to get used to, especially since it didn't even exist in the past. I mean, Lichborn used to exist. I don't think it ever did anything like this. I don't know the last time the spell actually existed, period. I think it used to be a PvP talent to break out of fears and stuff. Oh, there it is. There it is. We used it. Okay. It's a bit late. A bit late in the pack. Let's throw it up, though. So, yeah, I mean, like let's take a glance at the bar, right? So we have from left to right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 major CDs. And then, of course, we have Rune Tap, but that is not something I would say is considered a major CD. So we have 9 major CDs. Now one of them is AMZ. Okay, so that's really not the most valuable thing. And then another one's AMS, which also margin like probably like realistically only like 50% of the dungeon is ever going to be relevant anyway. So at best we have 7. Okay, 7 major CDs, and that is with one of them being a covenant ability that I do not have. So one less for me, but you're starting to see the picture unfold here, right? Like it's difficult to use them all. Like frankly, you have to just use them when you don't need them half the time to get good value out of them. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I err on the side of just use them because if you don't use them, you're wasting uses of them, regardless of how little damage you're taking. And to some degree, you could like Vamp Blood could help in more than just defensive ways, right? Like you never really write off the healer's healing. So as long as you're taking some damage, it's a good thing to just kind of use. But yeah, we go a long chunk of time without much usage of some of these CDs. So it'd be interesting to take a look at like a log of a dungeon and just see what the actual uptime is versus what the theoretical uptime is of some of these CDs. Because if you play a traditional tank, you probably run into this a lot, right? Where it's like, oh, my CDs are my life, or more like they're used at specific times is what I would try to say for like a traditional tank. I only use CDs at certain times. Otherwise, they're not very dynamic, right? It's like okay, it reduces damage. If I'm taking damage, I use it to reduce it. But like Vamp Blood, AMS, Icebound, Lichborn, these things do more than just reduce damage. They do very specific things. So I feel like they're so flexible that it's really important that you use them a lot to get as much flexibility out of it as you can. Like right here, you're going to take a magic hit, right? So it's like, interrupt it. Yeah, there we go. Interrupt it to move it. And then after that, I always throw on AMS, something like that. Like just there we go. Exactly as I said. So it's just like one of those things that it's hard. It's like not intrinsically an easy thing to get used to as a Blood Death Knight, especially if you're new to tanking in general. But also if you're new to just the class, because if you play like warrior or something with more traditional CD usage, it could definitely be a lot it could be a lot to get used to. So AMZ here. I don't think we're taking any magic damage, are we? Not actually sure what the group is doing on this. I mean, these mobs are auto attacking them. I feel like realistically they're probably not. So definitely maybe save that for the pride. I don't know, maybe by the time this mob dies it'll be back up though. Depends on how long it takes on a 16, but could be. So yeah, a lot of sitting on Vamp Blood again. It looks like we're using Tombstone and the Trinket better. Good thing to do here, obviously spread diseases to every target if you can. Looks like a couple don't have it. Well, they were dead anyway, so. But yeah, I try to blood boil all 4 packs. That's obviously going to be a substantial amount of healing too when you have that many blood boils out. And the good thing about those mobs is they just kind of sit there. So usually they don't even die. A lot of the mobs with the full, you know, whatever the blood plague, it's just on it for the entire duration of blood plague. So that's just kind of free healing you're getting over the course. But yeah, that's like probably AMZ probably back up. So we'll see. What do you guys think about UI in general? I think it's pretty good. Definitely better than I've seen a lot of people do. I think that bar is a little wide, but I get it. Your point is to have every CD on the bar, right, in one layer. I think you could easily turn that into 2 layers. Do you think that would be too tall? Like, I mean, it's 9 CDs, so it wouldn't really work well, but you can go 5 and 4 with some variability on the sizes of the bars. But yeah, I don't know. Seems a bit wide to me, but not really. It's just personal preference. And the interrupt tracker is all the way on the left there. It's pretty good. Don't think I could play Blood DK with at this point without the damage types weak core though, man. That is just, it's crazy how good that is, especially in a season with Pride. To know exactly how much magic damage I'm taking, it's so generous, so valuable. Yeah, we do have 2 AMZs as well, so we probably don't even really need both of them up for the Pride on a key like this, but relatively farm key, it feels like. 5 minutes left, crushed it, absolutely. No real major, I would say not even any type of mistake whatsoever. So yeah, relatively uneventful. Happy to review it nonetheless. Obviously a little bit more fun when we have those, but I remember the ones from BFA where, oh my god, that one Jambo submitted was hilarious. Or the one Sizeable submitted was probably even funnier. Speed pots to like 5 feet away. Oh, nice little dodge there. That statue coming right for you. Good thing here, Stigmata of Pride. We do AMS it. Great play there. I missed that a lot too, honestly. So yeah, really very good. I've seen a lot of technical uses of CDs, just not a lot of bulk uses of CDs, which I would say, you know, you obviously get away with it, right? There's no reason to overuse CDs, but I think the trinket is far too valuable. First of all, I would say the trinket far too valuable to not be using on CD, or at least once every like 30 seconds it's off CD. You know, like I wouldn't let it go for a full 2 minutes at a time. It's just so much damage over the course of a dungeon. And I don't really think Blood DK needs another. Like, you know, it's a good thing to have, but it's not really one of those things where it's like, okay, if I don't have the trinket, I'm probably not going to live. And it seems like very routine key for you at this point. So I don't think you were in any danger. You could probably not even use the trinket and you would have never even noticed it. But that's interesting. Taking a lot of damage here. What the hell's going on here? I'm quite confused. This is just Ritual of Woe doing this? Go from 100% to 0, pretty much. If it wasn't for the trinket, you'd probably die here. Why? So Tombstone. Oh, wait. Is that just what the bard looks like when it has massive absorb on you? Yeah, that must be it, right? Because it looks like you lose like 90% of your health. Maybe. I don't know. I can't tell. That's a lot of damage taken from that, and I don't think it's doing that much damage. I am unsure, but yeah, not a big fan of the style of the health bar. I definitely would want to see a number on there. Don't you feel like that's important? I definitely don't. The number for me, like having a percentage on there, is pretty important. But I actually used Lichborn there too. It must have been. It must have been. Don't know why it would be. It's very strange. It's a good place for AMZ too, but it's not up. Hey, what do we use it on the first one? Yeah, I used it on the first one. It's interesting. It does do damage, right? Of course, but it's a lot of danger there if that's actually what's happened. Hard to tell. So anyway, we go over some gear stuff at the end here. I think I've seen everything I'm going to see from Radar IO, though. It's pretty good gear. His gear is very good, honestly. I wonder how much of this is... Oh, that's Fistic. Why are we looking at him? I wonder how much of this is going to be the... I was looking to see the neck. I wonder how much of this is going to be the Valor gear. Because I feel... Here, let's take a quick look. Let's just look at it at Raider.io. I feel like, yeah, the Valor gear is like the X factor that I'm unsure of how valuable it is. 210 helmet, 226, 220. It's got to be Valor, 226. It looks like you only have like 2 or 3 pieces on from 220. That's from the Nathrius, so that doesn't even count. Yeah, so realistically, not much Valor gear at all. But perhaps those pieces fill in the blanks. Looks like we got that neck from this run. Yeah, so that's good. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you what. Obviously better than most groups I've reviewed. Just take one quick look at this. So just going to go through the whole video. Let's look for each Lichborn usage. Here's the first one. That is 3 minutes into the key, so not terrible. Getting Lichborn, another really versatile CD. So 3 minutes in. Next one is at about 6 minutes in. So already missed about 50% of the potential of the spell. Another one at 9.5 minutes in, so we're kind of leaking further to that direction. Let's take a look. Well, that's a long time. That's a long time. Oh, very, very long time. Use it here, we know that. 20 minutes in, so we went almost 10 whole minutes. Am I missing something? 10 whole minutes without using the spell. Again, I totally understand it. It's a tough spell to use. It looks like Icebound is in that boat too, though. Hold on. Let's do the same for Icebound. First, Icebound. Obviously, you don't have the thing, so it's going to be harder to get value out of that. So that's used immediately. A little late there after the kite has begun. Probably a panic use of that. That next one, Icebound's being used a lot better, it looks like. So Icebound's at 5 minutes in, so basically 1 minute. That's pretty good. Not really going to use it on CD, obviously. Next Icebound's not for a while. Real long time. Another, yeah, pretty much like 10-minute gap, more than that. A lot of that time was fighting bosses that were very low danger, though, of course. I really don't know. Do we use it again? Oh, wow. So oh, hold on a second. Did we have something relevant at the end? So yeah, really, it's just so much damage reduction you're leaving on the table. I know it doesn't seem like it's needed, but it's just free, right? Why not? Also got that in. I would definitely, I don't know. It depends on why you're not using these CDs, but if you're not going to use Lichborn, I would just get rid of that. Well, to be fair, there's not many. I don't know how bad you want this, but I would take a different, like 2 finesse here seems like better. Like one of these, like I don't know, depends. Shield resilience, pretty good. I feel like gives you a lot more. I feel like it makes you more comfortable using Icebound because it's such a long CD that it doesn't really feel comfortable using it. Sometimes I feel like I waste it. Okay, so let's take a look. So damage, pretty good, obviously. Wait, what is this? Auras? Okay, let's take a look. This is actually interesting. Tombstone, what is that? A 6? Is that a 6? Come on. 6% of the dungeon. What? Meat shield 29% though. That's pretty good use of that. Rune weapon was used very well. Dancing rune weapon up 18% of the dungeon. So yeah, almost 40% pretty much. It's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. I'll tell you what. That's an important spell to use well, and you did very good job there. But yeah, Hardened Bones, 4% uptime. Wowzers. Lichborn up 1 minute total. So that's 6 total uses of Lichborn in a, what's that, a 27-minute run? Is that right? 27 out of 31, it says on the screen there. And Tombstone, not, well, is that a 19 or is that a 10? I can't, it's a little blurry, but I think it says 19. Might be 10 though. I assume it's not 10. Yeah, let's see what else. Do we look at damage? Yeah, we do. Death Strike, 236 uses, so that's pretty good. We were just talking about that before. So I was thinking about like 240, but obviously the runs are probably a lot longer. Depends on the key you're doing, and depends on a few factors. So that's well above 200. Seems like the right number to me. Not doing anything that I could complain about there. And Swarming Mist doing a lot of damage. Wow, 9%. Definitely a lot more than I'm getting. Stoneborn. Carrion, huh? How about that? Soothing Shade. A lot of Venthyr stuff there. Crimson Rune Weapon. I just love seeing all that Rune Weapon uptime though, man. That is just so cool. Such a freaking strong spell. So anyway, thanks for watching. I think we saw everything we're going to see. CD usage, maybe keep that in mind. Even if it doesn't feel needed, that's definitely one thing I would work on. And anybody else, leave some comments. Love to hear what your thoughts are, but pretty solid. Obviously, you crushed this, so no problems here.